All of that information, hi, it's Joc Jacquay again. All of that information we talked about. I got to get over here. The Internet of Things, how it feeds the cloud, how AI uses the data, what part of AI uses what data for what. It's important, and I think it's important you understand that from my perspective. But now, let's talk about what I think is the most fun part to talk about, and really the reason that I did this, and I'm doing it, and will continue to do it. And that is, what's it mean for your future? What can you do now to best prepare to thrive in the world of AI? Let's talk about that. There are 6 paths. You know, one of the things that when you're on TikTok, at least for me, when I'm on TikTok or Instagram, you get all these people. In 30 days, you're going to know this. In 40 days, you're going to know this. You need to go to these sites. That's all great, and I suppose they're trying to get paid for it. And they want hits and likes. I'm not. I think you need to pick a pathway, maybe 2 pathways, maybe 3. But in one way or another, every job you're going to have, I don't care what you do, I challenge anybody to give me a job that somehow isn't going to be affected by one of these 6 things that we're going to talk about. And your ability to have a skill set associated with one of these 6 or 2 or 3 of them are going to determine, along with your work ethic, your integrity, your enthusiasm, your passion. Those are things AI can't teach. But with the AI skill sets associated with any of these, you've got the best chance of just being one hell of a big success. A number of people have said, and I happen to agree with them, more millionaires are going to be made in the next 5 years than have been in the last 20. Go ask ChatGPT sometime, or whatever model you use. How many millionaires were created between 1950 and 2000? How many millionaires were created between 2000 and 2025? And how many millionaires do you think are going to be created around the world? By the way, this is no longer just a good old US of A. This is India, China. They have billions of people. And all of them are trying to figure out how to go do this. And with a computer, they can do a lot of stuff. They don't have to be in the US of A to create an unbelievable agentic AI agent. Let's talk about these. My hope is when you go through these, you'll sit there and say to yourself, does this apply to me? Maybe it doesn't. If it does, I need to do more research on that. Maybe that's a path I can go in. And don't wait until you're a senior in college or until you're 25 years old to do that. You can, and you can still go do it. But the sooner you do it, the better off you're going to be. So let's talk about these. I'm not going to read them to you. You can see them there. We're going to talk about each one of them individually. Become a technical AI expert. That's where you go, and in each of those little modules we talked about with AI, or with data, or in the data centers, or in the internet, you're going to become an artificial intelligence expert. You can go take courses now where you get certification on how to go build those. And the demand for those are just going to grow. I can go in and Google, Microsoft. I'll refer to a bunch of them later. And in one of the other seminars, it's a skill set seminar in terms of where you can go to get all this free stuff. But you don't need me to go do that. Just look it up on the internet. What are the top 10 places I can go to become a AI technical expert? I want to be able to program AI models. I want to be able to become an expert in neural networks. I want to become an expert at creating agentic AI models in the construction industry or in the golf industry or in the music industry. How do I go do that? Ask those questions. They'll give you free places where you can go to get certifications to do this. And employers in big companies like Citibank, Bank of America, General Motors, Ford, all of these companies need AI technical experts to go do that. It's a huge opportunity. And you got to like to be able to do that kind of stuff. So that's one path. Recently, I saw a study where 50% of young adults are still going to college. I personally don't know what they're going to do with their degrees. I'm not a big collegiate fan. Um, I don't like the way colleges operate in the sense that it's not a money back guarantee. You go there and pay them $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 to go to their school. They don't guarantee you a job. They try to do the best they can. But how many friends of yours do you know that went to college that aren't able to use their degree or they're underutilized? Well, that's only going to continue. But the ones that are going to thrive are those that augment whatever degree they're in. I don't care if they're in pre-med, pre-law, accounting, teaching, sociology. I don't care what degree you go to get in. You need to be able to understand how that degree is going to operate in the world of AI. So somehow, and if the colleges don't offer those courses, and if the counselors aren't telling you to go do it, don't wait for them. There are plenty, and we'll talk about, I've got things on where you can go, but you don't have to listen to me. Go ask your ChatGPT. Listen, I'm at Arizona right now. I am studying mechanical engineering. What are the top 5 non-university related certifications that I can go get that will make me more competitive than any of my other peer group while I'm going to college? I can't begin to describe to you how important that is, because AI is going to be what employers are looking for. Their very first question isn't going to be, gee, did you get an A in mechanical engineering? They're going to say, how do you use ABC AI capabilities in what we're doing? That's what is the real key to success if you're going to college and if you're going to get a degree. So one pathway is become a digital AI expert, become a digital AI code writer, designer, implementer. How do I go do that? That's the first one. The second one is add it to your degree. Figure out how to add it to your degree. This one is really, really exciting. It wasn't available when I was in my 20s. The gig economy. Whether you're a video editor for YouTubers, you are a resume optimizer, a logo design, a copywriter, a paralegal, you can go and create your own business and offer yourself up on a per job basis. And AI can help you do that. AI can not only show you how to do it, how to reach customers, how to market to those customers, how to create bids so you can get the jobs, where do you find the jobs, and you can do all that from your home. Or you may say, I'm going to become an expert at how a hospitality industry can better use AI in their hotel business. Or I'm going to go and create agents that will help dentist offices around the country do a better job. And I'm going to go in and show them how they can use AI to do a better job. Now, help me market to those dentist offices. Help me figure out how to, and AI tools can help you do all of that stuff where you're your own boss. So if you don't want to go to college, or even if you do, but if you want to be your own boss, you don't want to work on a team, or you want to maybe start by yourself and then see if you can build big enough and build a team. There are tons of opportunities. To do that, you have to say, what do you like to do? And how do you define that? There's a whole nother part that I've got that gives you a list of 30 questions to try to answer to narrow down what might be right for you. But you can do that yourself right now. Use the ChatGPT, or I keep saying ChatGPT, any Perplexity, whatever one you want to use. And go to it and talk to it and say, I want to create my own gig economy entrepreneur business. And I want to be my own boss, and tell me the top 10 things that you think I could go do, because here are the things that I'd like to do. And have a conversation with it. And it'll come back and tell you. And it's all from publicly available information about who's succeeded, who hasn't, what their strengths have been, what they haven't, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the third one. Become your own boss in the gig economy. An Uber driver is a good example of somebody that is making a career out of a gig economy job. They're working per job. They're not driving a taxi cab at the taxi cab company's schedule. It's their car. They can do it part-time, and it's a gig economy job. They're their own boss. But take that one step further. Go start your own business doing that. I've got a whole another video seminar on how you can go do that. But for goodness sakes, there are so many ways to go do that on ChatGPT now. It's not even funny. This is just one way. This is where it talks about becoming an AI entrepreneur. Well, I guess it was the gentleman from NVIDIA that made that comment. Okay, so think about something where you want to start your own business, where you want to hire people, you want to create a business, whatever that's going to be. So use AI as your advisor. Do market research using engines like ChatGPT and Gemini. What are the top 20 small businesses that could be created? And by small bit, do you want to be in the service business? Do you want to be in the product manufacturing business? Do you want to be in the consulting business? And whichever one you pick, talk to it, have an interface discussion with it, and figure out what the competitive landscape is, how you may or may not be able to make money at it, what prices would you have to charge, who's doing that in your area. Once you come up, and then help me create a business plan. Figure out what you want to go do, create a business plan, then use AI to do all the stuff that's listed below. Then, again, AI can help you with how do I schedule and dispatch whatever it is I'm going to do. All of these things that are listed here are various elements of how you go and run your business. The beauty about AI is that you can now come back and create all of that and figure out how to go start it with very minimal capital. You don't have to hire people to go do your marketing. You don't have to hire people to go do your sales. You don't have to hire, you may not even have to hire people to produce based on what it is you're producing. So figure out with ChatGPT how you can go start your own business, whatever that may be, and get your ideas. Use AI to help you germinate those ideas, to help figure out what those may or may not be. One of the things that everybody's going to have to know, no matter what they're doing, are how to have what I'll call AI collaboration, not I, but the AI realm of AI collaboration skills. How can you be the best at knowing how to ask questions to whatever agent you're using, and how you become literal in what the terms mean and what's wrong? How do you challenge to make sure that it's right? How you're able then to communicate with other people and what you need and how they need it. These AI collaboration skills and the ability to supervise how these AI systems are built and how they operate really are going to require a sense of knowledge that either can augment your degree or can help you as a consultant to businesses who may not know how to. Do you think many dentist offices know how to use AI and how to even ask the right questions? How do I even find somebody that can go do that? You can be the person that says, I'll hook you up with whoever is out there in the marketplace that can go help you build this. And I'll be just like there's a real estate agent, you'll be the AI agent for lack of a better term. I encourage you to go look up, how can I take my communication skills, what I'm really good at, not me, but you, that I'm really good at, and how can I use those AI collaboration skills, my knowledge of AI, to make money out of that? Go ask ChatGPT. You'd be surprised the business opportunities that are in front of you there. This applies to all of them. And that's the critical thinking. Because in the end, it's the human that's the difference. Your ability to have critical thinking, what critical thinking means. And to me, in its simplest terms, is how many times do you go in and ask ChatGPT a question like this? We're in a government shutdown right now. And it's very politicized. Side A is blaming side B. Side A is the devil. No, side B is the devil. How do you know you're actually getting both sides of the argument and look at them objectively. Critical thinking, especially in the business world, is going to come down to trying to eliminate your own personal biases and look at it objectively, or look at it from the customer's point of view. Your ability, here's another way of saying the same thing. Pick a subject. I don't care what it is. What are going to be the socioeconomic impacts of retail clerks not having a job in 5 years? What do you think the odds are of that? And what are the pros and cons of that? And then get research on both sides, look at them objectively, and then stand in front of a mirror with your iPhone and see if you can do this. Can you make a 3-minute presentation, not 2, not 5, a 3-minute presentation, articulating what the subject is, the pros and the cons, and then a persuasive argument as to what you think it should be, and do it in 3 minutes, and not ever use the word like, and don't use the word own, and talk with a passion and a conviction and get your point across. You want to know who's going to win? The individual that has AI skills, that has passion, and that can communicate it the most effectively. And there's not a person watching this that can't go do that. Oops, sorry, hit the wrong button. I happen to be a big believer that no matter which career path of the ones we just talked about you're going to take, because you're going to take one of them, that your ability to give a presentation or sell yourself, sell your idea, communicate to another person, do it in a fashion that doesn't get defensive, that doesn't have bias, and is able to be articulate, is so doggone important it's not even funny. It not only inspires people, but it gives them confidence that you know what you're doing. And it'll differentiate you from your peers. When you go to that banker to get a loan, when you go to your first customer to sell them something, or you go to your first interview, you're trying to sell yourself, how well you're able to communicate is really often one of the great differentiators. And I say that from experience. I spent a career hiring and firing people. And almost always, it came down to 2 elements as to why they weren't successful. They didn't have the passion, and they couldn't communicate effectively. There were people, a couple of salespeople that I knew came to mind. They weren't the sharpest tools in the shed, to be honest with you. But they were passionate about what they did, and by God, they could communicate. And often communicate means listen. And doggone, they were good at that. Boy, they were good at that. AI delivers quick answers, but they're not always the right ones. And it's important that you understand the limitations of AI. You need to question the sources and the context of the answers you get. And the best part is that especially if you're running your own business or you're being relied upon to make a recommendation to senior management, that you want to make sure that you've done the best job you can and got the best information. The last part will talk about what's next. Thank you.